One of the real crises attached to the HIV epidemic is that young people, about a third of them, have persistent difficulties with taking their medication regularly. So a large clinic in Harare came to us with a real problem they were facing, which was a number of young people who had persistent problems with adhering to their medications. So we came up with the idea of a Creative Arts Hub. This would be a group to run for about 6 weeks. It would be run by a musician, Tariro Magitare, together with a peer counsellor from the Zvandiri charity. We teamed up with the dance department at the Brit School in Croydon to bring some dance expertise and community arts practice into the group. All these young people are hitting adolescence and a time when they want to be able to explore relationships themselves. And that can be a very scary thing when you're living with an infectious illness.
There are a lot of issues behind what will be going on, and taking medications daily is hard. I struggle taking a week's course of antibiotics, and I can't imagine how hard it must be for someone going through the turbulence of adolescence to also need to be responsible enough to take medications every day. So empathy is really important. So for those who are really struggling talking to patients, the counselors talk to clients and give strong, sterner encouragement. We don't have individual consulting rooms. We have consulting spaces, rooms separated by curtains. So if you were to listen really hard, you could hear what's happening in the next consulting room. There's only so much you can do beyond strong counseling, we feel. Physical exercise is great for the mood, so you just feel happier when particularly dancing just makes you happy. It's like laughing. It does good like medicine, Proverbs would say, yeah.
I wasn't took it that serious when I was taking my medication. I thought it was a minor issue. So sometimes I started to realize that my status was not good. And it keeps hitting me because I was the only one in the family infected. I always thought of ending my life.
Hey everyone, my name is OSEE Monse. I found out my status in 2009, and that was after I did about 6 weeks in hospital, and then the status was disclosed to me, and well, it was kind of confusing because I didn't know where it had started, how I got it or anything, but as time went by, things got clearer and easier. So it wasn't easy for me to start taking my life or to take my pills seriously, because I always thought that this was a temporary thing, and at any time it was gonna just go away.
It's really hard and painful. It's hard to live without your biological mother or biological father. Whilst I was in the hospital, after I was being discharged, 2 days later, I had a stroke. And stroke, it also affected me, because they said you get loss of memory and a loss of memory. That's where I started to know I think there's no way to live. How can I live?
You are going to benefit from this project.
I think I'm going to benefit a lot because as for me, I really like to sing. Because since when I was growing up, I was used to sing. I used to write my own songs and sing it. Especially when we have this function, they used to call me and sing in front of the people.
Okay.
Because in the other sections would mostly, would be ourselves, but not ourselves. As in, you'd hint yourself, but then you hide the rest inside. Of which this side, I find it really healthy because no one is ashamed to talk about what they're doing when it comes to anything. The fact that we just felt so welcome and free just made it all work for us.
When we started, they have certainly opened up a lot more. I remember one of the first sessions, they weren't too eager to participate. Everyone was a bit skeptical about what exactly we're trying to do. But the more we introduce the different concepts, the different techniques, I've really found that they've opened up more. They've expressed themselves a lot more, and they're participating more in all the activities.
Here people mainly focus on each other's strengths. Even if someone is not good at something, it's all about encouraging one another so that people learn and they reach their maximum potential, and it's just a free space for everyone.
Firstly, this group has been useful to me because I have learned the skill to meditate in this group. And secondly, I've learned to focus on one thing. If I focus, I will prosper.
Okay, the first time I saw these kids, the adolescents, when I spoke to them, most of them, they had stories to tell. And those stories were sad stories. Some, they had problems with adherence. Some, they had psychosocial problems like the issue of stigma, the issue of discrimination, the issue of loneliness, the different sad stories. And some, they were suicidal. And then the first time they attended the session, they were asked to introduce themselves. You know, the introductions were all about living with HIV positive. They never spoke about anything else. So it seems like their lives were they only thought that it's all about being HIV positive. But after 2-3 sessions, you could see the changes, you know. They started being positive about life, that, oh, wow, I've got this talent. I can dance, I can sing, I can do a lot of stuff after all, even though I'm HIV positive.
I think it would be an impossible thing to measure, but from what I've seen in this moment, I think I'm going to see a huge change in them in the clinic, and I'm so excited. And I think we need to do more of this, because sitting in a clinic and telling someone to take their pills just doesn't do the same job. And seeing them out there, I feel like they're just taking on a new lease of life, and I think that will just change things. I think it's amazing.
This group, it may not change one person, but it should change the whole world, because there are people outside there need this group, need us, need to experience what I experience, to learn what I learn, because I learn a lot and now I'm someone else.
I'm happy because I was such a person who used to say better to die, because there was no option. I have no one. Oh, what am I going to do in life, and who am I? But when I came here, I see that I'm not alone. We were a lot, And I see that there is somebody who is love, who have a love, who love me, who care for us. So I'm just happy because I'm not alone.